I'm about to share one of my most powerful game master tools. One that I use to capture players' attention, get them pumped when it's time to get pumped, panicked when it's time to panic, and shut up when it's time to shut up. With one simple click, you can determine the mood and the pace of any session you're going into, and that tool is music. I'm not just talking about any old RPG playlist you find online and hit play at the start of every session. I'm talking about carefully crafted and picked soundtracks to accompany any situation you come across. So I use music in all of my sessions, and here's 3 tips for you to start using music in yours. Tip number 1 is to create a soundboard. I'm going to leave a link down in the description to my own soundboard that I've crafted over years of playing D&D that you can use in your own games. But I suggest making your own, because as I have personally crafted and picked these songs that I like, I've not only, it's helped reinforce my game master style, but also I'm so familiar with the soundboard that I'm able to improv with it. I no longer need to plan the session or plan for music in my prep time. I can improv with it with this soundboard. And so when you create your own soundboard, you'll be able to improv too, just from a click. Tip number 2 is to use music for what it's best for, setting the mood and the pace. So there's nothing quite like playing a slow piano, somber song when an NPC, a beloved NPC dies, or a triumphant post-war drum as the players are walking away from a battle won, right? And with this, I have a confession to make. I'm pretty bad at setting the mood and tone with my words. It's one of my weaknesses as a game master that I'm trying to improve on. Always trying to be better. But I found a cheat code. And that's music, okay? See, there's a reason we're called Royal Goblin here. We're just a bunch of goblins pretending to be kings and queens, okay? And so if you want a cheat code, here's one for you. If you're bad at describing the mood and setting the tone with your descriptions, music's the way to go, okay? Believe me, you know, believe the guy that you're listening to right now, because he knows best. Tip number 3 is to not be afraid of not using music. I caught myself getting all caught up in the music, and I'm like, okay, what song am I gonna play next? Oh crap, they just went into the sewers. Frick, I didn't have a song prepared. I guess I'll just play this one. There's no problem at all in not having music. So use it as a tool, but don't, if you're juggling, game masters are juggling 9 things at a time. If you can't quite fit in a 10th, don't use it. Or if the situation would be more powerful without music, if the silence brings more tension and more emotion than the music would, go with silence. Along with this, maybe this is a bonus tip. When in doubt, go subtle. Subtle background music. Just atmospheric, ambiance. Not every single song needs to be a soundtrack from Doom, right? More often than not, I'm just playing a super subtle ambiance in the background to help establish immersion. It's only in the most extreme and epic circumstances am I playing the most extreme and epic music I've found, right? Which is only like 5% of the time. 95% of the time, I'm doing the slow, subtle ambiance in the background. So using silence and subtlety in your music will help those high points of your campaign feel even more memorable and extreme and suspenseful. I really hope you guys start using music in your campaigns, and I guarantee that your players will thank you. Now get out there and make some epic terrain, stories, and friends. Here's some 3 tips for you guys to start using music. Tip number 1. And it'll bring me to one of my, picked music, the music that I like to use in each situation. Jeez, that was bad.